Welcome back, everybody, to the LCS Proving Ground Circuit Qualifier, day number 3. I'm Janiro, your host for the rest of this evening. Joining me once again on the desk is going to be Veteran. We got Izo joining us as well. Hello, Izo. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here.
Lovely to have you here. Veteran, have you recovered from the games that we've just had?
Barely. But I'm excited for more.
Yes,
Into the breach once more.
And more is exactly what we gotta get. We're gonna be looking at Jake's Kittens versus AOE Ginger Turmeric, and that is going to be the uppers. Well, honestly, a lot of expectations heading into this game, especially after the banger that we just saw earlier today. So, you know what? Let's just get it going. Jake's Kittens specifically here, Veteran. What do we really need to be looking out for? Because they've been doing quite well in the past couple of days.
Yeah, they have been, and for me, the standout is Prismal. I think, like I said before, he's actually one of the best supports, if not the best support in Amateur right now. He has elements of absolutely everything. In a region where a lot of supports are trying to do one thing really well. He has an expensive champion pool, he plays the map, he has really good engage timings, and he's aggressive, and he has a team that's willing to follow up on that aggression. We actually have the highest deaths in total are actually from Jake's Kittens, but their success has been from committing to these plays that Prismal sets up from them. But if there's any kind of disadvantage there, it's that maybe he concentrates almost too much on the rest of the map and might even neglect bot lane. Which here, against the duo Kingdom on bot there, who have typically played very high pressure lanes with very high scaling supports like Soma Soraka, that could end up being an issue for them. So for me, this game is all about bot lane.
Izo, when we're looking at the bot lane from AOE, Ginger, Turmeric, have they had just as much of an impact? Are you really excited to be seeing this team? Is there a player that you want to highlight specifically? What do you think?
Personally, I'm a really big Keel fan. Here's my roommate when we were at Columbia College together. Whenever you see Keel in a game, you always have to worry about Jungle Gap. He is a player who lives, eats, and breathes League of Legends. He never stops thinking about the game. He's always working on it. And, I mean, he is extremely passionate. I've never seen someone who can just get so into a game, and he really cares a lot about performing, and I'm hoping to see him bring his team the win.
Well, we've spoken about what we can expect from these individual players specifically, so let's also look at how that's going to be affecting the predictions. So far, when we're looking at the Paths to LCS stream, by the way, guys, third party, they 2-0'd their opponent, and Grapes, Smack's the only ones who got it right this time, but looking at their prediction as we're going to be heading into Jake's Kittens versus AOE Ginger Turmeric, they are a little... How do I say this? Not everyone's in agreement. There's a couple, going for HAT, a couple going for Jake's Kitten. But for you guys specifically, I'm going to be starting with you, Izo. Who do you think is going to be walking away with the win this evening?
So, unfortunately, though, I am a huge Keel fan. I personally think that Jake's Kittens has a lot of star power over here. It's been said before, and I think they're going to win 2-1. I think it'll be a close series, but I do believe in Jake's Kittens taking the win today.
Well, Veteran, I see you thinking there. Are you agreeing with this prediction? Are you going for the opposing team? Who's going to take the win?
It's really funny, and full credit to Smacks for coming up with these stats. He brings them out of nowhere. But we have the team with the most kills against the most deathless mid laner in the league. And I think a large amount of that is because of this scaling strategy that their support has, plus the siege champions that Captain Shrimp plays. With this combined, it's very difficult to find advantage against them. It's very easy to stall out games, and it's very easy, because they ignore bot side a lot, for this Sona, this Soraka, to start scaling and basically make his team invincible later on. How are you going to reach them? Once you do reach them, how are you going to ensure to one-shot, especially in the durability meta, right? So for me, I actually lean much more heavily towards AoE for these reasons. I think it will be difficult. I think it might be a bit closer, though, because Prismal is just very good. They're very good at accelerating around the map. And I think if they do that, even Ryoma can pop mid late game with his advantage. So they might be able to take a win, but ultimately I'm on AoE's side.
Well, I'm glad that you're the one that's going to be going for AOE because I went for Jake's Kittens, and that's mainly because I thought the name was very lovely. So that's my prediction. You know, all reason out the window. If you have a cool name, I'll be voting for you. It's just as easy as that with Genie on the desk. But Iso, your prediction for Jake's Kittens as well. So you said that you're a Keely fan yourself, a little bit of a bias maybe coming into it, but in the last couple of days, they've definitely shown us what they're made of. So we know what they're capable of, but what are the drawbacks of this team that you are a little worried about? Maybe because you did say that one game is going to be going to AOE.
Well, I do think that the top lane matchup is going to be the decider for this game. It's going to be Porsche versus, I believe, Existence. Porsche should get his Gangplank banned away from him. If Ginger Turmeric does not end up banning the Gangplank away, I would be very surprised. It is Porsche's signature pick, and it really is favored in this meta. So I think if Jake's Kittens don't save their top laner from being punished by Keel's jungle ganks, that there may be a bit of a problem. But it should be a mostly bot lane focused game. So we will have to see.
And looking at the jungle matchup that we have going on, Veteran, and the fact that both of you mentioned there's going to be this bot lane heavy matchup, bot lane heavy game, do you think there's going to be some early dragons that we could expect, some early skirmishes towards the bot side of things, maybe even a little invade on the red buff? What are you expecting to see these junglers bring to the table in regards to creating that pressure?
I would love that, actually. I would love it if everyone's pressuring towards bot side, because I think that's actually how Jake's Kittens could take the win. If instead of seeing them just shift Prisma into mid and see them try to play around top, where Azo correctly says a lot of the game will be fought around, I think if they instead play towards bot side and go for those Drakes and go for that pressure and enable Scooped, I think Scooped could end up being the key to a Jake's Kittens victory here. If they enable him in the laning phase, this guy has actually put on very, very good teamfighting performances. He's on a team of veterans, so his name's going to get a little bit overlooked, but he's impressed me in these teamfights. Play around him, prevent the free scaling that AOE are used to, play for those Drakes, play for that bot priority, and I think Scooped can deliver you the game.
Iso, how can mid specifically play into this composition? We're not even going to be talking about top lane. Top lane is an island. We kind of already said it ourselves, but we want to be focusing on that bot side of things. We want to be focusing on those Drakes, on those objectives, because last game specifically as well with CLG Faith, those Drakes were just so crucial in regards to getting that soul earlier on, making sure that you have that extra mobility, you have that extra armor, extra magic that resist as well. So how can the mid laners contribute positively to make sure that their teams are on the winning side of things?
Well, Captain Shrimps has been known to play some unorthodox. I do remember him playing Singed mid, not recently, but he is a bit of a off meta pick connoisseur when it comes to League. He's never one who is above picking more of a facilitator style champion in order to help his team scale into the game and get leads in strange ways that most mid laners won't. So I think that might be, that would be a spicy thing to happen. I'm not sure if it will, but I sure hope it does.
I too am a Singed mid connoisseur, Captain Shrimp. You become my favorite mid laner above Leo if you pick it. Okay.
Okay, just add a little bit of spice to the heat that's already happening somewhere. Not really in London, to be completely honest. It's a bit cold here today, but I'm definitely up to see more bangers because last games they were incredible. So Jake's Kittens versus AOE Ginger Turmeric, they have a lot to live up to. And Veteran, in terms of this final point, what is one champion that you do not think we're gonna be seeing making it through the draft?
I don't think we'll be seeing making it through the draft. I would actually be wary of champions like Lux and Xerath. I think those are actually pretty good into Rioma's pool, and it's things that Captain Shrimps have a lot of success on. The thing that we shouldn't see under any circumstances is Sonar. If Geo Kingdom gets his Sonar, it's going to be so difficult to play out these later on fights. So please deny him those kinds of champions, and you got a chance.
Well, I guess you have a chance if you ban out the Sona or the Xerath or the Lux. We even spoke about the Gangplank and how that does have quite an impact on games as well. These teams hopefully, potentially, if the analyst desk is correct, and by the way, we always are, we are going to be looking towards a very heavily contested bot side of things. In terms of the casters, we still have Graves and Smacks. They're pulling on that long duty. They're still with us for the cast. They're going to be bringing you the action for the next game. Guys, take it away.
Thank you very much, Janiro. And you're looking at right now, ladies and gentlemen, the only two casters to predict third party taking that series on the past the LCS channel, which means that you are in the presence of the best and the brightest. We're not going to talk about the other series that just happened because that's obviously not important. The only important thing is that both of us predicted third party, but Smacks, I don't know. We might have to disagree a little bit here on the way that this series is going to turn out.
We're going different ways for this one. Very different from the rest of the day. Now, I will say, if AOE Ginger Turmeric does win, then you and I are tied on the leaderboard, because I think you're one behind me. You said you predicted TFT last time?
I actually did, yes. I predicted TFT last time, and then I didn't predict them this time in the lower bracket match. And
you did predict the team that just beat TFT right now. You predicted AOE to win, right? So. Yes. You're completely flipped up on what's going on.
I'm all over the place right now. Yeah, I had a bad read on the meta game last time around. This time is much better. We're here. We're ready to go. Got AOE GT. No, not bias caster here. As we just kind of break it down the way that this best of 3 can go. We saw 2-1s across the board on the analyst desk, Max, and I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of see that. These are two teams that looked very, very dominant, and as Veteran kind of alluded to, the way with some of the stats that you were bringing up, they kind of dominate in different ways.
Yeah, so to shed some light on that one, AOE Ginger Turmeric is the team that has the least deaths on average across the board. A lot of that is because their mid laner, Captain Shrimps, has not died yet, and Duo Selena on support is playing the Enchanters. He's playing the Soraka and the Sona and keeping everybody alive. A lot of sustain in these siege compositions with that, and the super big range of the Lux and the Xerath, and then the Caitlyn as well for deep learning. So this team really does want to just kill turrets. No champions. They're not going for a lot of player combat at all, which is another reason why they're not dying. And they're just taking these games very slow. We saw their games were, at a snail's pace last week, but they did win both of them. On the other side, Jake's Kittens are the team that has by far the most kills on average. They killed third parties so much last week that all 5 of their players were in the top 10 for most deaths on average in every game. And, I love their party. I did predict them to win. They did very well today, but they were no match for the roaming death squad of Jake's Kittens. And Grapes, those two stats can both not be true at the end of today.
It's crazy also that Jake's Kittens was 3rd in terms of kills, and they won a 2-0 in terms of total kills as well, which means that they played less games than like a bunch of the other teams that ended up going through. Teams like Maryville and 300 and AOE Esports all kind of around that area as well. But Jake's Kittens, very bloody team, expecting some pretty good stuff, especially out of some of the newer players that they have on their team as we take a look at the way that this draft lines up. Aaron and Scoop, specifically in that last series last week, played really, really well each in their own games, and I'm expecting them to be really big targets as we head into today's draft.
Aaron in specific, I have my eyes on for sure, because nobody knew who this guy was coming into this event, apart from the people on Jake's Kittens, and maybe not even all of them, honestly. But he's stepping in straight out of solo queue. He did really well in their last week of games where he was playing the Taliyah and the Wukong. He was playing these really strong champions and just going for a lot of these shadow plays where he'd have someone pushing up on weak side, and then he'd be right behind them, ready to pounce when they did get jumped on in that side lane, and he'd pick up a lot of his kills there, not to mention getting a lot of advantages early game, roaming around the map with Ryoma on Lissandra and Ahri. So I'm expecting some big things there. It seemed like a winning formula to me, and for a young, learning jungler, I think just going for that style again does make a lot of sense.
It will be interesting though. Again, it's this clash of playstyles sort of. Aaron, trying to follow the priority that Jake's Kittens have set up, but when you look at the side of AOE Ginger Turmeric, they have a lot of seemingly unmovable lanes, just in terms of the players and the way that the champions kind of were set up throughout their series against Team Fish Taco. So it's the question of, will Aaron and Ryoma be able to break the game open at an early state, or will the scaling come through and Ginger Turmeric eventually, come online and start to show up here? Into the first ban phase, Rumble, Senna, and Lucian all taken away. The Senna, I think Veteran alluded to it on the desk, and of course, we got Captain Shrimps, which means that Rumble has to be taken off.
Yeah, the Senna and the Sona he mentioned too as being really impactful. Both those champions, very similar names, but also very similar things that they do to a game of League of Legends, where you just have so much scaling, so much healing later on. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if Jake's Kittens actually do decide to take away another one of those enchanters, the Sona or the Soraka as well, another one the Duo Selena did go toward. But touching on these bans just a bit more, AOE Ginger Turmeric took away Lucian, and that is probably the best possible ban against Jake's Kittens. The game where Scooped and Prismal were playing Lucian Nami, that was the best Lucian Nami game I've ever seen in Amateur. And it's not really that close. That's, again, considering that we did see more Lucian Nami on the same week, but it did not even hold a candle to what Scooped and Prismal were able to do. That was a filthy game.
Yeah, it's been a very popular combo. I think EGP also put up a pretty good showing on it with me and Donbray. But yeah, I mean, we were watching that game, Smacks, and it seemed like, the other side, Justin and Lunar, just weren't able to do anything. It's both the way that Scooped and Prismal played that lane, as well as how the rest of the team kind of played around it, that really set them ahead, specifically in that first game. And not going to be on the table this time, and I think Ginger Turmeric are going to be pretty happy about that one. Jake's Kittens, again, the Wukong falls through the first ban phase, and Aaron going to get that champion that worked so well for him last week.
This is going to be a Lilia. Right there.
That's the response.
Here it comes. The deer is here. We know that AOE Ginger Turmeric really loves picking this champion, specifically into the Wukong, but we saw them flex it around to 2 different roles last week, and that was really impressive to me, as Existence was able to play that against a tank. This one, of course, is going to go into that jungle role for Keel. Actually, you know what? I say, of course, Porsche has been known to play some Wukong, so
yeah,
there's
no,
a possibility that doesn't happen.
There's some flexibility, yeah. Even back before Wukong got the buffs and became like an OP jungler, Porsche was piloting this champion very, very well throughout his time at the University of St. Thomas. So I think there's flexibility for both of these sides. I think the Lilia for Existence worked very well for them in that first game. I remember actually in the mic check he said, oh yeah, it's a 3rd time with Lilia, by the way. So it seems like he got a pretty firm grasp of the champion very, very early on. But speaking of comfort here for AGT, it is again that Caitlyn lock-in for Deep Learning. I believe that's his 3rd game in a row on the champion.
Yep. 3rd out of 3 as well. He's not been forced to play any other champion in the group stage so far, and with that we will likely see one of those healing enchanters. You can't pick both of them for Jake's Kittens, Sona, and Soraka from this position, so I'm imagining the Duo Selena is going to get whichever one of those he prefers there. It's on Jake's Kittens' side. There is an Ezreal for Scooped and a Karma, most likely for Prismal, another enchanter for him. He's been playing that a lot of these different ones, like the Nami, that I've thought was really impressive, but Ezreal and Karma together are a lane that really does have a lot of that poke in the lane, but also later on that could maybe match something like this Caitlyn and Sona lane they're most certainly going to be playing against.
I was just about to bring that point up, Smax, because I think that, in the last game, we'll get to that in a second. In the last time AGT played this Caitlyn plus Enchanter, this time being the Yumi, the response for Team Fish Taco was Kog'Maw Lulu both times in a row, and both of those, and that's a lane that doesn't really get a whole lot of priority. But now Scooped and Prismal, they're playing this double range, a bot lane that is known for getting this early push, and maybe this is a different answer to it.
Is going to be a very bot-focused game, I feel. Again, this is double range on both sides. A lot of priority there for both teams and both junglers specifically to get down and make this lane more favorable. But for Jake's Kittens in specific, the way that they've played around their bot lane is through roams from Ryoma on Ahri, on LeBlanc. Or not LeBlanc, Lissandra. We know that Ryoma is a very good LeBlanc player too, so that could be the other option. But those are the options that we've seen so far. Lissandra available if he wants to take that one on this next rotation over. Might not even be blind, depending on who gets counterpick here, but it probably will be if we know anything about Captain Shrimps' pool.
I remember the Lissandra was a response to the Ahri. So with Ginger Turmeric taking that off the board, looks like they don't want that one, and they also don't want to play like against it as well. So we'll see what they end up going with here. It is actually a Scion locked in here for potentially Existence. Always the possibility that Captain Shrimps can pick that one up as well. We were talking about tanks in the mid lane like this Singed, which by the way, still the highest win rate champion in the game at 56%. So we're still crossing our fingers for that one to eventually come in, but it looks like Existence probably will be on the Scion.
It also looks like Porsche is probably going to be on the Wukong into it, though, as it's Kindred locked in for Aaron. We've seen the Wukong and the Lilia flexed around a whole lot, but not quite like this, where we have the Wukong moving up to the top lane. Usually it's Lilia moving into that role and then Wukong coming through. But this time, it is Aaron trying to get a more favorable matchup for himself in the jungle. And this is not a champion that is very facilitator-like what we saw in the previous series from him. The Talia is off the board. The Wukong is not going to be for him this time. He is going to be the one dealing a lot of the damage on this team. This is going to be a really big spotlight on Aaron again, but for a different reason. This time, it's kind of him that's going to have to be the carry.
Yeah, Kindred is definitely the main carry, I would say, out of this team composition. The rest is kind of here to kind of build around it. And we've seen solo carry Kindred performances in the Proving Grounds Circuit qualifiers before. Last week, City Witty on Taco Gaming had a pretty crazy Kindred game, I would say. And Aaron's going to try to do the same as another like new upcoming young jungler here for Jake's Kittens. But Ginger Turmeric, again, they have a very similar composition that they were playing last week. They have a lot of range with the Xerath alongside the Caitlyn. And the poke is there, as well as a very strong front line with Existence and Keel.
That front line's going to be pretty tough to crack open for Ryoma specifically here. He's got a lot of poke, which is going to be strong with the Ezreal and the Karma, but you're not really easily breaking through a Scion as Zoe. I don't think I've ever done that personally as Zoe. Maybe I'm playing it wrong, you know? But
yeah, especially on the new patch.
Secret. It's no secret that Ryoma is a better Zoe player than I am. I don't think anyone would argue against that.
It is the new patch, which means the tanks are even harder to kill. So I would, you know, err on the side of agreeing with you this time around, Smacks.
Yeah.
Got to start off this game one, though, with a little bit of spice, as we do have Ginger Turmeric on the team. 5-stack bot lane here for Jake's Kittens. They're going to spot out that ward, very crucial against Max in that double range 2v2.
Clearing that one out, though, Prismal immediately. So no vision will be there. It's not every day that you see a support just start with a sweeper immediately, especially not a time where you see the support take the ward for himself. So you can typically have
it's the 80 carry mindset. He's still there.
Yeah, true, exactly. You know, we heard from Veteran that he thinks that Prismal is the best support in the league right now, and you know, he played very, very well against third party, but I think this is going to be a big test again for him. If he can make this one work as well against this Caitlyn Yuumi lane. Again, not really something that is very orthodox a lot of the time, but with deep learning, he likes his comfort picks, he knows his comfort picks, and he's just going to go for them every time.
Gonna get pressured out a little bit to start the lane off as the Qs land from both of the bot lane members of Jake's Kittens. Also, kind of funny to mention as well that, you know, today on the Academy stream have 3 supports turned, you know, 80 carries, and we're already seeing the aggression here. Deep Learning getting chunked down with the Ignite, forcing the exhaust out of Duo Selena. Scoop is chunked down pretty low on top of that, but that's kind of all we have right now.
Forcing a lot of damage on top of Deep Learning. And Scooped was very close to landing another Mystic shot too. I like that idea again here for Prismal and Scoop, just keeping them on their toes and trying to go for these slight lane advantages. Aaron is clearing top to bottom right now, so he will be there in time and ready to attack this lane again and even more thoroughly. 3v2 is even better here, and you know, you've been hearing me preach this all day, Grips. I'm sure you're sick of it by now, but if your jungler clears toward the bottom lane when it's a ranged matchup, you're going to have a good time.
And I think both of them are hoping to have a good time, as that's kind of what both of them are doing. Keel went for a bit of a reverse clear here by going for the Red Raptors Gromp to get to the bot side early in case anything ends up, you know, going awry as he tries to finish off the rest of his full clear. Aaron, a much more standard approach now, working onto that red buff right now. But right now, bot lane working in favor of AOE Ginger Turmeric for the time being in terms of HP. We talked about this last time, Smacks, as well, when Ginger Turmeric were playing against a Lulu. Similar concept with the Karma in that, you know, the champions that Ginger Turmeric are able to provide are able to heal, while the other enchanters are not.
And while Karma does have a little bit of healing, it's just selfish, and it's just her ultimate also, so not the same utility as something like a Yuumi, absolutely. We're seeing that Duoselina is using a lot of mana, and that's a nice route.
Heavy trading, yeah. Scoop actually chunked out pretty low as well, has to flash away.
Whoa.
But there comes the Q, the inner flame, nearly burning down Deep Learning as he will have to flash away as well. Seeing some bloody action here, but nobody falls just yet in the bottom lane.
Nice try there for Scoop. You saw he flashed in with the Mystic Shot, but just barely did not quite connect onto Deep Learning there. All the while, by the way, there was the Kindred mark 50-50, and Aaron did win it. He did get the mark correctly. It was the bottom scuttle, so he's got one of those right now. Congratulations to Aaron.
It's a true NA burger flip right here. That's what Junior and Veteran were talking about here, you know, in terms of reacclimating themselves here to North America. And that's what we do here. You know, things flip a cheese side up for Aaron this time around as we get that first mark.
Oh, man. Well, Aaron is still on the bottom side, and he's looking for another gank right now. No flashes. Oh, wow.
Spot on a ward, but he's just going to flash forward. Deep Learning is so low, and that is first blood picked up for the young jungler of Jake's Kittens, and that's a double as well. There goes Duoselina. There goes 2 kills on the board for Jake's.
The first kill right there was a solo kill, too. Aaron is doing all this work by himself. Or should I say he's cleaning up after the work done before. Because Deep Learning and Duoselina did not have any of their summoner spells because of the lane advantages from Scooped and Prismal. And yes, they would have been okay if there was no jungler. But Grapes, there's a jungler here. You have to be able to survive this, and there's just no means to do so.
Yeah, as we said, they were spotted on. Aaron was spotted on Vision there, but there's no mobility spells on the side of AOE Ginger Turmeric. The flash was down, the heal was down as well. No exhaust to slow anybody on Jake's down as well. And Deep Learning and Duoselina, despite having the heavy pressure in the bottom lane, weren't able to get away, and that is 2 kills going over. Aaron is now the most fed by a very significant margin.
The only problem is that Aaron still has Lilia mark, so he didn't get one of those. But you know, it's kind of the mind game with Kindred. You gotta make sure you're not giving away your position and your plans here. So I think that's a respectable move to keep Lilia marked. Even still, double kills great.
But what I am interested about is how the team kind of plays around this Kindred, and it looks like they're playing towards it pretty well. Captain Shramp's really early flash to just make sure that Aaron is not able to pump in that damage.
Almost getting creative with the Battlestar angles there too, just forcing some more damage.
He's pretty good at the champion.
Captain Shrimps. Yeah, I told you, he's way better than me, and I'm. That's saying something, you know. I'm pretty good at Zoe. I can push the buttons. Grandma pushes them just way better than me, though.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is just kind of clicking. We're all able to click. It's just who can click better. And right now, in the right positions, Ryoma seemingly doing that pretty well. However, that's not the main story right now for Jake's Kittens. Right now, it is again the young jungler in Aaron. We saw the interview that he just had with Hawk in the space between games, and really just looking to make an impact here with all this experience on his team.
He's already doing that right now. We're 6 minutes in. He's got this double kill. That is a huge feat already. But now he's looking for a bottom lane again. Ryoma is here. They did this last week. They're doing it again.
Still no summoners on to Deep Learning, and down he goes. Now a Yuumi without a friend will go down. Captain Shrimps is able to get one back with the right of the Arcane, and will be able to clear the rest of this wave out to make sure no additional plates go over. Regardless, big win for Jake's Kittens. They get the dive, and they're now up 1,000 gold.
Yeah, it is a nice Zerathal to find at least one, but this is the cookie cutter play that they went for last week, and I only say cookie cutter because we've seen this exact play work so many times for Jake's Kittens. It's still hard to pull off, but they're making it look so easy, so calculated, and this is again Prismal setting up for these plays, and then Aaron scooping them down. I absolutely love the teamwork there.
When you're playing with Kindred, of course, like getting the marks is such an important thing, and the way that Jake's Kittens have been playing around Aaron to make sure that he is getting fed and getting the right angles to be that impactful jungler has been really impressive for a team with so many experienced players. And right now, might be down in farm a little bit, but definitely very, very strong. 2-0-2, working towards that Kraken Slayer early.
You see Prismal just roaming around the map, trying to bully Captain Shrimps again, and just forcing him underneath his turret, which looks just like he's being a mosquito, just running around, but he actually is impacting the map again, because you're seeing Captain Shrimps, he doesn't have ultimate, doesn't have any way to keep pace in this wave, and it means that Aaron is actually able to start up on this Rift Herald. He's got it pulled out of this pit, he's got a control ward there, and he's looking for some more, as Prismal is going to sleep.
See how much damage Keel can do here. Big Eep as well. The Conquer has been procced. There comes the Smite as well. Keel trying to fight this 1v2, but not able to secure onto the Karma. The Swirl Seed lands, but it's not enough damage.
Man, he was close. I think he needed to commit the flash in order to find the kill, but didn't end up wanting to do that. Could have been a pretty big shield, and the scooped heal even made it just that much more obnoxious and that much more out of reach. But Keel, he is trying to impact this bottom lane, and I fully respect that one. He's mostly just been clearing out enemy camps while Aaron has been doing that, not actually matching it, but this time he actually does help out very directly.
Those were some pretty good button presses. Would you agree with
Yeah, I would, yeah.
I will say,
Ryoma, skilled button presser
yes.
in League of Legends.
I mean, that's kind of how they got their spots here. One of the best teams in the Proving Ground circuit. Click pretty well. Pro tip: just click.
One of the best teams
good.
in Proving Grounds last split too.
Yes, top. I believe Ryoma actually has been top 3 every single Proving Grounds on 100 Thieves and on Golden Guardians. And so now in an amateur spot instead of a academy spot, might be a little bit more difficult, but can't rule them out just yet, especially with how they've been playing. Might see another attempt towards the bot side as Ryoma with Aaron again trying to punish this Caitlyn lane. There comes the exhaust. No damage can be done, and already Aaron on a killing spree. Another kill into the Kindred as well, as they just keep funneling gold into the young jungler of Jake's Kittens. The Rift Herald will not be able to take it down. Nice flash over by Prismal to get the root down, but it is just a cleanse out from Captain Shrimp, so no additional members falling.
Flashed over the orb there. It's Aaron. Wait, Aaron is still here. There is a Keel.
Oh, they're looking to chase here. Here comes Kindred here. The shields for the Mantra are going so well, but now going to sleep, and that's the kill secured by Keel, and he has enough damage to maybe almost turn it around, but Scoop says no and takes him down with a Mystic Shot.
Man, Aaron didn't consider that he needed to ult right there to survive. Keel flashing back in to get this kill, and it's definitely worth for him to do so, because there's a gigantic shutdown on Aaron's head. Nicely done there by Keel, trying to get some more gold into the hands of AOE Ginger Turmeric, but it is again another successful bot lane play for the side of Jake's Kittens. Grapes, how many times have we said that over the course of these last like 8 days? I don't know.
They're very good. I think that's what we're kind of coming to agree upon here, is that Scooped and Prismal are good at League of Legends as well. Again, against this bot lane that was pretty unmovable, and we might see another button click. No there we go. The last Q comes in, and Ryoma gets the solo onto Shrimps.
Oh, it's too brutal, Ryoma. That was Shrimps' first death of the whole tournament.
Ever.
Wow. And it's Ryoma getting a solo kill, no jungler needed. Just picks up an exhaust from the minions, says thank you very much. That's all I need. Wow.
Now I will say, Smack, it does seem like Jake's Kittens is very far ahead in this game. But Ginger Turmeric, they're only down about 1,500 gold. And if you take a look at the CS gaps in the top side of the map, that might be where we're starting to see some of it. Existence has really taken advantage of Porsche so far in this 1v1. Up about 40 minions, and Keel also getting the farm as well. We saw how much damage he's been able to do if given the opportunity. So not all over just yet for Ginger Turmeric. You know, they might be dying a little bit more than they are used to, but we are certainly aware of how well they can do in the late game.
Oh no.
No!
He's at half HP again.
Captain
Shrimps. He's getting bullied, Grapes.
It's not fun for Shrimps right now. I think that it's kind of just what happens sometimes when you're landing against Ryoma. It's getting a decent amount of trade back, but yeah, he just can't catch a break. Captain Shrimps. I mean, I feel so bad. He was so nice on the interview last week as well, and just man.
You know, I mean, it goes to show like everybody's got haters. You know, everybody is trying to keep you down, but you gotta just fight through the pain, and I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
They've got to get through some pain, I think, to find their way back into this game. I think that's what you're going with here.
Yeah,
Specs.
yeah.
It's gonna have to be some scaling. Of course, you know, Caitlyn, not the best scaler, especially with, you know, that Immortal Shield bow. Not gonna be a whole lot of damage unless we get really far into this game. But the rest of the team is, you know, continuing to scale, continuing to farm. Mythics are starting to come through for some of the members on AOE Ginger Turmeric. And again, this is not their strong suit. This is not the best part of their game. This is the early game. The late game is really where we've seen them stand out so far.
The problem here, though, Grapes, is that when they did get to that late game, they were really good because it was even or they were slightly ahead. And they're playing these siege compositions that completely excel when there is a turret to hit in front of them. There hasn't really been a turret for them to hit.
Well, looks like the ones hitting the turrets will be Jake's Kittens. A nice two-man sleep, though, coming out from Keel to try and turn this fight around. Scoop has the exhaust on top of him. Big chunk of damage as well.
Ooh.
Nice stopwatch coming out from the Lilia. But there goes Deep Learning. Bursted down instantaneously, and Keel will fall as well. The missing shot missing out. Keel gets the kill, and Keel survives the Yumi on top as well. Here comes Strips looking for the turnaround. Scoop now down to below 200 HP, and here comes the teleport as well. Looks like Ginger Turmeric are trying to re-engage Existence. Looking on to Scoop. The Israel was fed, but may not be fed for much longer. The Swirl Seed will come out, and Scoop has nowhere to go but into the tower. That's the kill picked up for Duasalina.
Oh, the turnaround thanks to Keel. Well done on the Lilia. Look at this setup. Sleeps multiple members. The Xerath ultimate is in range. All they have to do is wait out for that Kindred ultimate, and I absolutely love the synergy that you get with Lilia and Stopwatch. The minion here saves his life as well, and then he gets to turn around, slay Prismal, and then just beat a supplemental damage for everybody as well. I just realized everybody's taking naps on both teams. We got both sleep champions.
I was confused when I saw another sleep, and I remember Zoe has one as well.
Yeah, I know. Same thing for me.
So Existence up on the top side is a bit woke here as Prismal trying to trade back in onto the Scion. Porsche's in the area as well. Does it the Cyclone to cancel that decimating smash. Scooped, looking to maybe finish off the work as well. Will the missed shot connect? There it is. The true shot barrage from downtown will secure the kill.
I was wondering why we were looking at Ezreal there. Makes a lot more sense now. He's not just a pretty face, turns out.
They're feeding him kills. 3 kills now onto the Ezreal. Looking very good.
Yeah, good job for Scoop. And he's definitely benefiting from all this jungle attention that he's been getting. He's even able to take out this turret with his good friend Porsche up in the top lane, who has finally been able to do something in this game. 15 minutes in, he's finally killed the Scion. This has got to be one of those situations where you're the top laner, you're like, guys, I'm playing Wukong. Please, I have Cyclone. I just want the Scion to not be on my screen anymore.
The Divine Sunderer helps as well. Because it's like,
true,
Scion stacks HP so well, and you just get so much healing, so much damage as well on that item. On basically any bruiser that you play on into the Scion. Wukong, no exception to that one. And we'll see how much he can do here in that teamfight environment. Sleep already landing onto Existence, but he's very, very tanky to anybody else on this Jake's Kitten lineup. Ryoma continuing to issue the poke. Dragon up in 40 seconds. Jake's Kittens looking to get that Cloud Soul point.
These poke situations are so interesting because whenever you see a Zoe Ezreal composition, that's like the big thing you expect them to do is we might be getting it.
There's a shift away, but look at the damage all the way over from 3 screens away. Scooped goes down to the sleep. Was not expecting that at all, but now here comes Existence in here with the ulti. Aaron forced to pop the Lamb's Respite early on. Keel falls on the backside as now Porsche looking to try to do the work on the re-engage. Aaron will go down to Deep Learning, who is still alive in the front line. Now Prismal trying to get some work done as well. And Ryoma is continuing to land Paddle Star after Paddle Star after Paddle Star. Porsche also still alive, still chasing Ginger Turmeric on the wrong side of the map. And Shrimps and Existence have nowhere to go unless they try to turn this fight around. What can Scion passive do? It's a double kill for Porsche. Ryoma is still alive, and it's a triple kill in for Porsche, and Jake's Kitten somehow survive.
Talk about participation there, Grapes. Triple kill's gonna feel good for Porsche. He's finally participating in this game. He's getting things done, and he's cleaning up after his teammates. This is the 3rd Drake in a row for them. And I mentioned before how the poke situations are super interesting, but they just completely skipped the poke entirely. Both teams just fully wanted to engage. A nice sleep to start things off for Keel. But There's too many damaging members on Jake's Kittens. If you sleep one of them and execute one of them, you still have everybody else to deal with, and they just learned that the hard way.
Well, you say there wasn't any poke, but I think, you know, all the members of AOE Ginger Turmeric firing their ultis at Scooped from like 3 billion screens away, that counts as some poke as well. Now Deep Learning in a bit of trouble as well. Aaron does so much damage. The Caitlyn falls again.
Wow. That is so brutal. As Duo Selena, the lonely kitten. You know, it's Jake's Kittens that he's playing against, but he's truly the kitten in this game. As he's the one brave enough to play Yuumi.
He's making Jake's Kittens right now with the way that this game is going. Jake's Kittens doing very, very well right now, up about 5,000 gold. He might get a little bit more as Existence seems to be caught out. Aaron does a lot of damage here with the Kraken Slayer, now scooped over to try and give some assistance as well. That's the kill going over, and I don't think the Scion passive will do very much. Oh, wait, good. Look at Prismal, he's just frontlining.
You said something before that I need to address again. Are you implying that Duo Selena is Jake's kitten?
I mean, kind of right now. I mean, not doing the best, kind of becoming like their kitten.
Oh, hold on. Are you implying the kittens are not good at the game?
No, they're just, you know, Jake's is controlling the kitten right now.
Oh.
Do you understand what I mean? It's like it's their kitten. I don't know. I didn't think of that very far through. I'm trying to defend myself. Maybe we should just stop it right here.
No, I need to hear more actually. Need to hear you continue to elaborate on this. No, it's okay. God. Jake's Kittens.
Please save me.
They're doing very well. The team, not Duo Selena right now, as you were saying before.
Yes.
Aaron, we mentioned in the draft that he needed to be the big carry on the team, and he really is doing that. He's paying off the advantages that we saw from Scooped and Prismal in the lane, and he did it at the exact right time too, because for Deep Learning and Duo Selena, if they were allowed to get a recall off, I'm talking about very, very early on, but that's just how impactful that play was. If they were able to get the recall off that early, then the lane would have effectively been over, because Duo Selena would have had more mana to work with, more ability power, and all that sustain would have been unbearable. But the fact that he got there early was such a big deal, and we're still seeing that payoff after all this time as they start up on this Baron.
Yeah, very, very quickly started up basically on spawn right now for Jake's Kittens, and now Ryoma just trying to spot out Keel. Maybe this is what they wanted to do, go for the engage here, and now here comes Existence. Maybe they're looking to do something. Wait, how did Aaron die? That's just Captain Streams shutting him down with the right of the arcane. Now the sleep landing in as well, and Ginger Turmeric trying to win this fight. Existence is so tanky on this front side, stunning up Porsche, but here comes the Cyclone, and his gauge is big. Keel fighting Prismal in on the other side of the fight, will not be able to secure the kill, and it looks like the rest of Jake's Kittens are just looking to continue the chase. Captain Streams getting chunked very, very low. Things are going very, very good for them right now.
Emma such a menace though, as Keel, he gets baited in. Oh, the sleep.
Still alive.
So
Porsche, he's gonna flash forward. The smite out of Keel, I believe, to keep extra HP into his back pocket. And somehow Keel is still alive. The blooming blows give him so much movement speed. And somehow, someway, Keel will end up surviving as Duo Selena hops back on.
No.
Oh, but here's a sleep.
Porsche.
How much damage? Deep Learning pops the shield bow. There's a stun. How does the fight still keep going? Finally a kill in favor of Existence. They chased him all around the map, and somehow Ginger Turmeric get one in return.
Wow. Okay. It's AOE Ginger Turmeric that actually get 2 kills right there, and they don't lose a single member. It's kind of a miracle for them as they were able to actually kite all of that out. As you said, Keel has so much movement speed thanks to his Q. Oh boy.
Oh, so much damage.
No.
Can he? Oh, okay. I thought it was going to come through. It looks...
Israel? Oh, no, it's not.
No, on cooldown. On cooldown. Man, I don't even know what to do right this. We've seen so many slow-paced games, Max, like when we've been casting together. Now there's just so much action happening, and like 26 kills at 22 minutes. Like, man, it's like Christmas right now.
Yeah. What's that line? It's like a dog chasing a car. He wouldn't know what to do with it if he actually caught up.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh,
where
what's
we're
that?
at.
Fights, there's kills. Ah.
It's a fun time, though,
Yeah,
as
no,
we're getting a
100%.
full engage in this river right now.
Scoop, yeah, trying to get locked up, but actually Existence going for a different engage, trying to lock down Aaron, but he's going to be able to hop, skip, and jump away, dashing away from the knockup as well. Now the Scion not looking so tanky anymore, as Aaron will be able to pick that kill up. The Cloud Soul is up, and it looks like Jake's Kittens are going to try to go for it.
And the sleep actually forced out Deep Learning's flash without even being hit a single time. That's how threatening Ryoma is right now. But he gets to pick up the flash for himself. Oh, that was so close.
Deep Learning has a shield bow, but it would have been pretty close to killing regardless. I feel like the bubbles are just so scary. Ryoma is so strong. And I mean, this is what Ryoma's been known for in his time in the LCS, time in Academy, just being so proficient on some of these highly mechanical champions. And showing that he's able to dominate amateur as well.
Oh, they're keeping them right here all the while.
It's
Three
crazy.
members are on the Baron. The Zera almost
will
actually took that.
Go for the trade. Nice shield landing in on the Prismal as well. The Eep gets knocked away by the Blast Cone, and that is actually Keel getting a sleep of his own. They're still looking to chase with Duo Selena, but now Scoop, the Baron buff, has arrived. The stopwatch has been used. Can Ginger Turmeric keep the fight in their favor? Definitely not. Deep Learning goes. Duo Selena goes. It is 3 straight kills for Jake's.
They got the Drake Soul, they got the Baron, they're winning the fights, and Jake's Kittens are making sure that Aaron's efforts do not go unnoticed. 8 kills on the Kindred. He is bringing his team to this victory against AOE Ginger Turmeric. They're bringing these minions into the enemy base, and they're looking to take a bunch of these structures again.
We were expecting maybe a longer pace game, but right now, Jake's Kittens wants to push the pace. 2 inhibitor towers under fire at the same time. Existence trying to guard one, Shrimp's trying to guard the other. They're doing a good job. Mind you, Prismo chunked very, very low. The Right of the Arcane is not available, but what can Existence maybe do on a potential engage? Aaron nearly dead at this point, but I don't think AGT can chase.
And this game is already a KDA killer for AOE Ginger Turmeric.
Yeah, might not be there anymore.
Aaron got out. Yeah, no. I don't think we can say that they have died the least amount of times in the tournament anymore.
One of them had to
Jake's
change.
Kittens. Yeah, exactly. At least one of them needs to change. Jake's Kittens, they could have had a slower paced game and not kept the most kills, but they are definitely keeping up with that one right now. Nearly a kill a minute at this point. They could actually make it all the way up to that point if they have some particularly bloody team fights in the next few minutes, but it does also just feel like they might just win the game before that.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for Jake's Kittens. They have the Cloud Soul, they just had the Baron buff, I believe it expired at this point, but still so much pressure generated for themselves. Now 10,000 gold 25 minutes into the game. We were talking about how close these team fights could be if they were played correctly by AGT, but all of a sudden, now it's literally 10k gold. It's just so hard for them to do anything when they're at such an economic disadvantage.
Baron's still going too, so it's going to be even more turrets, going to be even more gold going over to Jake's Kittens. That's the top lane turret dead. Looking for perhaps another one. Also mid inhibitor turret at the same time with that minion wave. Baron for 30 more seconds, but look at that turret shred.
And already the sleep landing. That's just one of potentially many for the remainder of this fight. The wave is cleared out nicely by AGT. They have enough wave clear to prevent that 3rd inhibitor tower from going down, but now mid lane inhib under fire, as so is the top side of the map as well. 26 minutes into the game, Jake's Kittens pushing on multiple fronts. They're just looking for the engage. When can they find it, or when will AGT end up pulling the trigger?
All these inhibitors are falling. AOE Ginger Turmeric really need to do something
They're
right
looking for
now.
something. Finally, they landed in onto Aaron, but he pops the lamp despite to stay alive, and here comes Porsche with a massive cyclone in onto multiple members, and all of Jake's Kittens are still alive as AGT have to retreat to their base.
And this is going to be the siege started onto the Nexus turrets. I don't think they have any way to stop it on the side of AOE Ginger Turmeric. They've got some poke. Aaron's dead.
Aaron's dead.
So
one Nexus tower down. Here's the second. Now the Nexus is exposed. What can GTC do to save the game? Will Jake's Kittens just focus the Nexus? It looks like they will. It is so low, and finally will go down. Scoop gets the 50 gold to secure game number 1 for Jake's Kittens.
I feel like that's got to be the fastest game that we've had together in this tournament.
One of them.
Grapes, 27 minutes. Nicely done there for Jake's Kittens. And again, like we kept saying, it's off the back of this 16-year-old rookie jungler. Yes, the bottom lane was getting all of those leads for themselves, but it's Aaron who gets down there and makes it actually work for the team. Double kill for himself. Repeat after repeat after repeat gank. every single minute, it felt like, down in that bottom lane. And on Kindred as well, he is the one who's dealing the damage in this game. It's not the Talia from before where he's setting up the wall and all of the pebbles and everything. It's not the Wukong where he's cycloning everybody. He is the marksman on the team, and he's still making it work.
So much great stuff coming out from Aaron. I know a lot of people didn't really know anything about Aaron. We were even talking to Qualifier and Izo on the desk, and they didn't really have much information about this young jungler as well. And really, really impressive stuff. And it kind of shows how important he is to this Jake's Kittens team, that he is getting a lot of the carry resources with the likes of Ryoma, Prismo, Scooped on this team as well.
And, you know, speaking of Izo, his old college roommate buddy here, Keel, in the jungle for AOE Ginger Turmeric. It was a good Lilia game, but his team was just too far behind, it felt like. And as we said before, this is a team composition where they have so much siege threat, and if they do get out of lane even, and maybe even ahead, they can just fully take over the game and not have any problem whatsoever. That's just not what happened in this game. And Lilia is just not a solo carry kind of champion. You have to set up for the rest of your team to deal damage, and there just wasn't any damage afterward.
It was the first time that we saw, you know, Deep Learning and Duos, you know, really get punished down in the bot lane 2v2.
Yep.
With the kind of Caitlyn lanes that are supposed to, you know, be kind of strong on their own and eventually scale up with the enchanter that Duoslina ends up having down in the bottom lane. Aaron, Scooped, and Prismo did a great job at punishing that, and that was the first time that AGT had to play from behind and didn't work out so well for them. And we'll see if they end up having enough left in the tank to send us to that game 3. We're going to take a quick break for the desk. We'll break down what just happened.